right now, Gnar being hovered, maybe pushed back onto that once again with the Trundle and Shen off the table.
Cloud9 looking for their win against Apex, hoping to take this set 2-0, but they're going to have to take us to a Game 3 first. And here in this Picks and Bans, what better way to start it than something that had a pretty good performance in Game 1, and last second pick for the support. Cloud9 are going to be taking Bard.
Okay. Not really the first round of picks I expected. Gnar did do pretty well, but generally is not one of the most dominant of the top laners. I kind of rank it a little bit lower than some of the others right now, but that may just be my ignorance to the pick. Obviously, impacted fine on the last game. I do also kind of like the idea of saving your last pick to counter whatever Ray comes out with, but equally giving that to Jensen could be a very big advantage here. And with the top laner being picked, I expect them to save their last pick for Jensen in that solo lane, really try to get an edge there. You know, talked about on the desk, Jensen kind of wanting to run it back, get an advantage for himself. You know, not a guy who is used to losing lane, especially not like that, and will be trying to have a dominant performance himself here in Game 2.
Yeah, and something that we kind of didn't expect from Apex is that when Ray is the only one going off as a team, they typically don't see success. But Keane, saving that counter pick might be a way for Jensen to look to shut him down and prevent him from going off.
Keane has carried a lot of games himself this season. A fantastic player. Seems like he doesn't need as much help to create those advantages. Also, when he does, he seems to carve them out in lane and extend them in with fantastic team fighting. This guy is just really, really good, knows how to push an advantage so well in the mid lane. So Nidalee, going to be the pick for a Shrimp, one of his specials, and it will be Apollo on another sniper, not the Ashe this time, but the Jhin. Similar roles, similar champions in that way, and the snipers have been extremely popular in the LCS this split.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Apollo and see if he's going to be nice and safe in those backlines. Cloud9 surely going to look to dive them and kill him at some point. 10 seconds left for those next two picks. AD carry, jungle, and mid lane still open. And it looks like they are going to be saving that mid lane for counter pick as Gragas and Ashe are picked up by Cloud9.
Yeah, almost always you want to save one of your solo lanes for the last pick, unless you're trying to do something really kind of a little wacky, or maybe do something to catch them totally off guard with like a support pick that's very different, or a very dependent jungle pick that's like, okay, if this happens and this happens and this happens, then this is the right pick. But generally speaking, taking your solo laner last is going to be the right way to go. We still have to remember it will be the top lane and the other solo lane mid for Apex being picked up here. Certainly could be the Azir getting selected. Would not surprise me whatsoever. I don't think we're going to see Teemo, but could really be, you know, a Jax, a Fiora, something more split pushy again for Ray. We've also seen J4 came out. He did great on that before, but he does not have to pick it. And
ooh, Maokai being looked at.
Yeah, Maokai is something that is not nearly as popular anymore, but still very, very strong pick. And it's going to be Rumble locked in. So Rumble was banned away by C9 last time. They leave it up this time. And it's going to be an AD mid laner. So Varus mid, AP top, AP jungle. So it's a double AD carry type composition. I see the idea. It's a lot of siege potential here. I do worry somewhat about the lack of kind of those more supportive shielding type, boost you up type characters to protect these guys. Is they don't have the biggest front line. It's essentially just as support as your frontline tank, and then you have two squishy kind of mages in the Rumble and the Nidalee. Yes, sure, they can build some HP, and then you have your double 80 carry. So they don't have the Karma, they don't have the Lulu, these sort of characters to protect them, and they don't have a huge front line to really stay in front of them. So this is going to be a delicate comp. If they can pull it off, it'll look great. But when comps like this tend to fall behind, they really fall behind. It starts to all go a bit awry as you can break through and get to those 80 carries and really take them down.
Yeah, very low mobility.
All right, Malzahar.
But Malzahar is the final pick for Jensen. There is no escaping that nether grasp.
Certainly not, unless you can CC him and interrupt it. But
Quicksilver Sash.
It's one of those things where Malzahar is a strong mid laner. It's seeing finally some play here. I've been expecting it for so long. I think it's a fantastic pick. But one thing I will say about the Malzahar is, in my opinion, its best matchups are the ones that can not consistently knock off your passive, knock off the shield, which makes you very safe against the ganks. Makes it so you have to telegraph them very hard. But you know who is very good against that is Varus. Varus can hit you with Qs. He has a lot of consistent poke, ways to knock it off without really telegraphing it to set up for ganks. That's why some of the long range mages are also good against Malzahar. You know, your Vel'Kozes and your Xeraths and things that can knock off this passive shield constantly. So we'll see how Jensen is going to be able to do against this. Has cleanse for himself, and will he be able to get an edge?
Yeah, pressure is on. Utility AD carry. Some disengage with Gnar and Gragas, and then, of course, the big damage on Malzahar. We are going to find out who's going to take this game, but of course, we want to know who you think is going to take the game too. Is it going to be hashtag APX win or hashtag C9 win? Tweet at LOL Esports as we load onto the Rift for this. As Cloud9 looking to bring us to a game number 3. A couple of stretching going on the crowd. Gotta keep limber, keep the blood flowing. There it is. Arms to the sky as we load onto the Rift.
Smoothie and Jensen with that Snow Day skin synergy.
Yep.
Already bodes well.
Teamwork.
Yep. So this Varus pick can be very strong if it gets going. Same time, he's gonna have to be very careful. He's not super mobile. You know, Jensen and Meteos can look to kind of get some CC chains on him, take him down, and it's also going to be tough for someone like Nidalee, who already has difficulty with team fighting. If you dive in and you pounce into a team fight, try to execute someone, and Malzahar just presses R, usually goes pretty bad for you. So
counterplay.
Very interested to see how this does shake out, because once again, I feel like C9 probably has the edge in the bot lane duo as far as harassment, right? The Apex bot lane, what they can do is they can get all-in kills. If you proc the Braum stun, you land the Jhin root, you can get these CC chains and really get a ton of damage out. But if C9 can kind of push them in, look to poke them, harass them, they can maybe carve out an edge that way.
Pressure is going to be on those junglers to keep the lanes safe for quite some time and prevent any CC picks from happening from Apex. Meteos was able to carve out an advantage, but just not able to effectively use it in game number 1. This time on Gragas, not quite as mobile as Rek'Sai. We'll see if he can keep up. Standard runes and masteries from what we saw.
Yeah. Gragas very mobile, but doesn't have the same map movement that Rek'Sai does. Can't just ult back and forth. It's harder to cover all your bases. Ray, definitely good on this Rumble. It's going to be a lot of team fight damage coming out of the Rumble if he can get going. And Shrimp early making a move here. Saved his smite, so actually looking to try to steal away this red. I think he was hoping to meet Meteos at the red, but Meteos has not even started. So Shrimp is looking to get aggressive here. Still has the smite. We're probably going to be able to steal this away.
Ooh, steals away one. Meteos dodges the spear, and Shrimp forced to hop away. Meteos
still has the smite, though, and he's going to stick around, and this is so annoying for him. Yep, and that is a nice early start there from Shrimp. It's not the end of the world for Meteos, but it's certainly frustrating, and now there's this situation where he wanted to take his red after that small camp, but he's not able to do it, so he's forced onto the other side of the map, and a little edge there for Shrimp, definitely being frustrating.
Yeah. Shrimp definitely showing some respect towards Meteos early on as a binding catches Xpecial.
And look at this already. The push was heavily in the advantage of C9, as I talked about. Xpecial kind of getting poked out there. So that's how C9 wants it to look. And that's probably how they wanted it to look last game too. It did not work out that way. But Ashe, you can keep shooting out those Ws, getting more and more poke. And already a couple potions have been popped here. 2 potions down for Xpecial. C9 has all 3 of theirs on Smoothie. So they're going to be looking to continue this harassment. And actually, really smart pathing here for Meteos. He went straight from his side, straight over to the red of Shrimp. So he stole that away, but he is down a level.
Oh, and he doesn't have his smite again at the Raptor camp. Luckily,
Shrimp sees the bot lane missing, though. He can't actually go for this. So they are coming up and supporting. Will still get it. Meteos expected him to be at his own red, so he wanted to take this in response, but it's kind of a very mind-gamey start here because Shrimp didn't actually take the red. He just backed off afterwards, and now is going to move up and take that red because he sees that Meteos must not have taken his own. So Shrimp is playing this very intelligently, moving around the map, and they're both kind of trying to be one move ahead of each other. They're trying to anticipate, okay, Meteos will do this, so I'll do that. Shrimp will do this, so I'll do that. They're trying to out-jungle each other very heavily here.
Yeah.
So far has been a bit of an edge for Shrimp.
With jungle duel between Shrimp and Meteos. We've heard that Meteos does want to have a style very similar to Reignover and just try to be ever present on the map.
Who doesn't want to be like Reignover? He's the best.
Yeah, exactly. But so far this game, he has been pretty effective at keeping track of Meteos. The early invade lets him open up with that advantage
nice
as Apollo gets
binding.
caught by a cosmic binding.
Still, things looking pretty decent here in the bot lane. Unless Sneaky and Smoothie can really get a lot of damage out onto Xpecial and really kind of poke them down. They can't super aggress on them. They can't go really aggressive because there's always a chance of getting caught by that Braum passive into the Jin CC, and that can mean certain death.
Yeah. Snare on top of concussive bites, definitely not a pleasant way to go.
Yeah, no kidding. Just the amount of damage that comes out plus the CC gives such an advantage. That plus the fourth shot of Jin, when it's all layered together properly, can be massive.
Impact continuing to farm in the top lane, opening up an advantage over Ray despite the pressure. However, Cloud9 continuing to shove in that bottom lane. Another binding finds Apollo and he's denied. A little bit more CS.
Yeah, we'll see if C9 can keep them around, keep them pushed in. Special out of pots, so they're going to look to continue to do that. Meteos does have his smite this time around and has the health advantage on Shrimp, so Shrimp going to give him a nice little leash there. Thank you, sir.
Teamwork.
Yep.
Raptor camp secured. You got a raid boss. Work together. Ray
Meteos is going to be moving around the bot side, looking to try to spot out Nidalee. I don't think they want to go for this dive, but is maybe looking to set up a counter gank or perhaps even threaten it.
And instead, Shrimp going for a recall. Picks up an Amp Tome and boots along with that warding smite. He will be a relatively high health after securing that crowd. Ooh. There goes the concussive blow snares you were talking about. Smoothie eats some big damage, but is able to heal himself back up. Cloud9 having a nice, slow early game. We're starting to see an advantage open up for Impact in the top lane, and now Sneaky in the bottom lane.
Smoothie has been hitting almost every single binding. He's playing it very, very well, and they are whittling them down on their resources, taking away those pots. And if you can force them to base with a wave pushing towards you, then you can start to get more of an edge as far as experience goes. And we'll see if they can actually do that. It's annoying for Apollo. He's down 20 CS now. This is like I said, this is kind of what I was expecting more from last game. Seeing that really running it back well here. And they're looking for the dive top lane perhaps, or maybe just hanging out waiting for Meteos to come check here. If they can land the spear, they have the equalizer ready.
Ooh.
And can look for it. Impact has to play it safe. He needs to clear the mini wave. They're going for it.
There goes the equalizer. Impact is going to get some good damage.
Nice
on the right.
flash.
Flashes. He's dodging a lot of this burn. Shrimp tosses the trap. Impact eats it.
Oh, he
He's
steps
close
on
to
the trap.
Malzahar, but first blood, Shrimp.
Oh, he gave Hunted over to Shrimp, and I don't know if he didn't see it or if he just kind of had a brain fart there, but he stepped onto the trap, giving Shrimp the way to jump in from the extra range to execute him. So Impact played the start of that brilliantly. I think he would have been fine, but he just walked onto it and killed himself.
Yeah, and he was getting so close to Meganar. Really a tragic play for Impact fans. That first blood over to Apex. Now Cloud9 look to avenge it as they head towards this bottom lane. Meteos along
Jensen
with
here too.
Jensen, but there are a lot of wards. They're going to spot this out.
They're going for it. The TP coming in from Gnar. They want this dive, but Apex is moving.
Snare catches Smoothie. He's forced to flash away. He's at super low health, but Keane gets the kill. Ray drops Meteos, and this dive has gone from bad to worse.
Disaster for C9, but turnaround from Jensen.
Snare.
Can they get it?
They're able to reset Jensen. He's trying to retreat. They get another kill.
Oh God, this
there
could be an
goes the
ace.
sniper. Bullet 1, bullet 2, Impact, bullet 3, and oh, they can't quite get the
One
kill.
more auto.
Attack.
It's an ace.
5 kills for Apex.
5 for 1 in the bot lane. Absolute disaster for C9 at the start of the second game, and they make the call to go for the dive, but it all goes wrong. And it starts with this. Smoothie taking so much damage, has to flash away there. They're not able to finish off either Apollo or Xpecial because he blocked a lot with his stand behind me. Keane makes the rotation, gets the first kill, flashes forward. Great, you ulted me, but there's no way to actually follow it up. And although Jensen does eventually get that kill, it's all for naught as Apollo is hitting shot after shot after shot, and Shrimp procs that passive, picks up another kill.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
an insane
Yeah, and
turn.
look at the kill distribution. 2 kills on Ray, 2 kills on Shrimp, the final
Oh,
2
God.
on Keane. So you said earlier, with a composition like this, if it falls behind, they have a really tough time getting back into this. What happens if they start 6-1?
Can look real ugly for C9 is what happens, but C9 not out of it. They are down not an insane amount of gold, certainly not the start they wanted, but we'll see if they can get any picks. They have the Ash Arrow available. They're looking at Varus. They want to start to get something back. And sometimes when you make those aggressive calls, they fall flat. We talked about it. And this was certainly a case where it did not work out. They were not on the same page, could not burst anyone down. And when you don't get those initial kills very quickly, like look at Apollo living with 5-10% health, and then being able to add so much to the fight on the back end with his ultimate. So had they got that kill instantly, could have looked very different.
Certainly could have, but those mistakes add up. And now Apex leading the series with game number 1 and a very convincing win, and now leading this game number 2 at the 10-minute mark with a 2,000 gold lead and that first break. They have got a lot of things going for them right now. Shrimp actually heading towards that top spot. Top side is spotted out.
They're
by
going to look for a dive once again, though. Will they be able to set it up? Equalizer's ready here for Ray. Shrimp is massive. If he lands a spear, Impact is going to be dead, and they're stopping him from recalling. Meteos is not even close. Impact just needs to make a run for it. But it's tough because then you give up all the CS for free, and you give up all the damage on your turret, so it's kind of a lose-lose here for Impact. He wants to stay around, get as much XP as possible, but there's no help coming. Yeah, sure, it's gone.
For the second time this game, prioritizing Ray with that gank, and is able to secure a turret and deny Impact. With 2 kills on top of that Rumble, on top of 3 assists, Impact will have his work cut out for him.
Ray is so far ahead, too. He is up already 1,300, almost 1,400 gold over Meteos, which is a pretty disgusting lead at this point in the game. They catch...
Oh, no! Keane!
They still got him.
He's still going to be caught, though. Nether Grasp will be able to secure the kill.
Can they get a turnaround now? Nice equalizer.
The equalizer. Smoothie's going to eat some damage. The bullet's getting knocked out. Knock up onto Sneaky. He's just out of range, though. Smoothie over the wall. And Cloud9 just might be able to escape from this. Sneaky stunned through the journey and knocked out by the cask. Xpecial is trying to chase it down. He's forced to hop back to Ray.
Here.
But Jensen collapses, and suddenly Cloud9 are able to collapse on Apex's mistake.
Sneaky is in a very awkward spot here.
Oops.
He's far from home. He's going to try to get the XU, but he gets tagged and will be going down. Triple kill for Ray.
5-0-3 to start this game off.
And they needed to have a cleaner initiation there. If the arrow landed onto Keane, it would have been a free kill right off the bat. They would not have had to blow almost anything. So here it goes. They make the call. The arrow flies over. This buys more time for Apex to get in here. It allows Keane to get his ulti off. Jensen has to blow his because that was another waste as well. And now, although C9 gets another kill here, it's Ray at full HP and almost no way for C9 to fight back. And Ray honestly kind of makes a little bit of a mistake, maybe not finishing off Sneaky here, which allows him to stick around for a while. They do get a kill onto Xpecial, so it's not a total disaster. But in the end, Ray picks up a double and an extended triple here.
Ooh, long range shot from Apollo to get the assist. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Apollo suddenly magical journey snared against the wall. Another kill over to Cloud9, 9-5.
Good return kill there by Cloud9. Should have probably gifted it over to Sneaky as that one was guaranteed, but Meteos takes it for himself.
Yep, kill secured. Just wanted to make sure.
One frightening rumble. Hex deck is already done, the Proto Belt.
Yeah, things are looking good for Apex as they will lose that kill, but trading 1-for-1 in turrets, and they've already got a turret advantage in that top lane, pressuring out Jensen.
Another turret going down, and look at the respect Shrimp is giving over to Jensen. We talked about Nidalee having such a tough time diving in. He picks up a QSS second.
Got to keep safe. Get those kills.
Turret barrel for Ray.
Yeah. Oh, it's running out of patience, though. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no. Xpecial backs up and it resets. They're still trying to burn through. There's no response from Cloud9 as they're on the opposite side of the map, but Rift Herald will be secured. And, yeah. Oh, Ray is going to get that too. So now Cloud9 grouping up around that Infernal Drake as it's set to spawn in a minute, getting some deep vision. And securing the red buff steal as well.
One thing still going pretty darn well for C9 is their bot lane edge, as there's not much farm on Apollo. 80 CS in 2v2 lanes at 14 minutes for professional play is exceptionally low. He definitely got bullied pretty hard, has struggled to even that out, and with the bot lane wave pushing away from him, his troubles are only going to get worse. C9 looking around here. They want to try to set up a dive, do something with the Ash Arrow, and they're controlling vision, so perhaps can pick up a kill as Nilly and Braum try to enter and clear some of this out. They're really looking for it.
They've still got that enchanted crystal arrow off of cooldown from Sneaky.
They're getting ready, and Jensen's lying in wait, has the ulti.
Specials in the front. And just zones it out as C9 are forced out of the jungle. Now the Infernal Drake has spawned. And the snare does pop Jensen's shield. So he's got a few seconds before he can really get in.
Yeah. Impact is down 2 levels on Ray now, though. And they're looking for Jensen.
Oh, they're trying to collapse Xpecial.
Nice dodges. Oh my
misses.
God. Sidestepped everything.
He only gets hit by 2 of those enormous skill shots.
Such a good job juking out there by Jensen. That was critical. If he went down, would have been a free dragon for Apex. And still, level 11 Rumble. This is really the danger zone against Ray. That ultimate is going to be insane in this Dragon team fight. They catch Ray, though.
They've got him. Stunned against the wall. Still got the proto belt. He's CC locked. Pops away. Gets off the equalizer, but it completely misses.
Massive for C9. Perfect CC chain there onto Ray. They don't give him the chance to escape. They commit a lock to it, though. And now they're going to try to move to the Dragon. They're going to try to make it worthwhile. Shrimp will want to go for the steal, perhaps.
Yeah, he's got flash.
Setting up
and
for the spear.
Might.
Get ready.
Vision. Oh, they're trying to pull it back out of range of the pit. There goes the spear, snare. Body blocked by Meteos. Infernal Drake secured. Cloud9.
Blocks it out. Probably did a little bit more damage than he was hoping, though. That was a little bit of a scary moment. But C9 gets the Infernal. That is big. And they are keeping the gold close. Down 1.3K. Sneaky coming up big for the team. Finds the catch there with Smoothie. He is the one they want to play around. Has the edge.
And suddenly, Apex's advantage starts to balance out. They still have 3 kills. They still got a turret. But Cloud9 are only about 1,500 gold behind. We're seeing them keep pace in items across the board as well. Aside from Ray, 5-1-3, things are looking good for Cloud9.
Certainly are, but that's a big aside, as Ray is going to be pretty dangerous. You got to watch out for this Rumble.
If you ignore the elephant in the room, it's a great room.
That's true.
But Cloud9 looking to put some pressure on the mid lane now.
Yeah.
Keane,
And I will say,
flash used as Smoothie gets a good Tempered Fate lined up.
I still favor C9's composition quite a bit. Apex needs to have these kind of leads to be able to aggressively siege, try to maintain good positions, because with Gnar and Gragas flying in on your team, it can be very difficult for Keane and Apollo to stay safe and get that damage out. They have so much CC, they have really good initiation, and very scary as these immobile AD carries.
Keane and Apollo going to be trying to kite it out as best they can. Youmuu's now finished for Keane, gets some mobility on top of that Ghost, but might not save them if Smoothie's able to land another clutch Tempered Fate. Still got some time before that's going to happen as Cloud9 look to break down the top tier 1 turret.
Yeah, rotations being made from Apex. They want to keep it safe. Their turret advantage is really the gold lead for them right now. They are up 2, and they know the bot lane edge goes to C9, so both junglers are kind of stalking their prey, and Italy moves up here, C9 moves out. Ray heading towards the bot side. Impact has built very heavily to survive this 1v1 because of the massive lead that Ray got early on. He goes Banshees, he goes Hex Shrinker. Although Gnar traditionally is not really punched very easily, but they look for...
Oh, they flash onto Keane, and he escapes!
QSS completed, and that QSS comes up massive. He sidesteps the arrow to follow it up, and that was double summoners blown there by Jensen, as well as 2 ultimates. So tip for tat, the mid laners sidestepping kill shots.
Very high intensity mid lane as Keane is playing remarkably well over the course of this series. He needs to continue his performance, though, if he wants to try to keep Jensen down and allow Apex to continue to press their advantages. However, Jensen back in the mid lane. That one he's going to be caught by. There's
rooted.
They're going to try to burst him down. We were just saying you were doing a great job. And he goes down. Keane gets the kill.
Apex makes the collapse. Great engage. They pop off the shield. And Apollo was on point with those ultimates. And Meteos did not get in front to block some of those shots.
Yeah.
Was unable to.
There's the long-range poke Cloud9 were afraid of. This composition, 3 members just chucking out arrows, bullets, and spears.
Yeah, this is how they want to do it. They want to zone them off with this siege, and in goes the equalizer.
Yeah, Meganar not quite yet popped, but they're going to be able to break down this tier 2 turret. And Apex, 4 turrets to 1 right now. Bring themselves securely back in the lead with a 5,000 gold.
Quite a big lead now for Apex. Jensen has to be so careful about this. They do sidestep quite a few of those, but he gets hit by the root, he gets hit by the Brawl multi. Meteos needed to be in front to actually block those initial shots, and he might have had a chance of living. Probably still would have gone down to Keane, but really should have been blocking those ultimate shots from the Jin to try to keep Jensen alive.
Pressure is on for Cloud9 as they're trying to take that top tier 1 turret once again. Setting up some vision, but Apex are already prepared for it. Apollo and Xpecial on this side of the map are going to be joined up with everyone except for Ray. Cloud9 forced to journey over the walls, and again, they're not able to break down that top tier 1 turret as Apex are stuffing them at every turn.
Yeah, Apex has just been in the right place, right time. Have all the answers, and there's quite a bit of gold here on Ray's. Facing with 2,500, going to be able to complete some big ticket items. Really even extend that lead further. Holy entries. Wow.
Those are some big numbers coming out. Jensen continues to defend.
So, and for C9, it really is going to be about finding those picks. Sneaky needs to be on point, land the arrows, hit the Bard ultimates, be able to get these proper engages where you're going aggressively forward onto your opponents with the Gnar, with the Gragas for the follow-up, because if Apex sets up a siege, if they get you in that spot, they're going to poke you off the turrets, and they're going to look to just dive even with that equalizer and just kind of zone you off. So we'll see if C9 is able to hold strong here. They're definitely down quite a bit of gold, but Apex has a hard to execute composition. And
yeah.
They have to be very careful about it.
And of course, we want to point out, this is the same Apex that 2 weeks ago lost to Phoenix 1, the very first team to lose to Phoenix 1 in the NALCS.
A couple more have followed, though, to be fair. Phoenix
Yeah.
1's looking a lot better.
And now suddenly Apex are bringing it to Cloud9, tied for 3rd place in the standings.
Yep. Big gold lead for Sneaky still. He is up about 1,200, but the gold lead in the top lane is disgusting. 3,000 gold ahead for
God.
Ray. And
Oh my God.
it's closing in on 2K, at least 1,500 plus in the jungle. So it really is mostly on the Rumble. They have to be able to shut him down and avoid that equalizer at all costs, because it's going to be devastating.
Yeah, he's now building towards that Zonias as Meteos is getting zoned out of his own jungle. Shrimp, so oppressive with this Nidalee. And it started from level 1. Oh, that one's secured. But Cloud Drake has spawned, and Apex race towards it before Cloud9 can respond.
Yeah, they know C9 doesn't really have any vision on that side of the map. They haven't been down there in a long time. They're just trying to maintain control on their top side of the jungle because they need access to the Baron pit to be able to check if Apex is going for it. So that means the Dragon will be given up, but at least C9 didn't have to give away one of those big ticket ones for now. It is just Cloud, and they're going to be not too disappointed.
Yeah, that next Drake will be another Cloud, so C9 don't have to worry too much. It's 23 minutes in. Seems like things have slowed down just a little bit as the two teams are jockeying for position. This duel between junglers with the supports now dropping wards as well.
The next fight will just mean so much for either team. If Apex takes a big team fight win, it probably means Baron and perhaps an insurmountable gold lead. And for C9, they know they cannot afford to give up that next fight, so they have to be so careful about how they choose it. They need to win a couple fights in a row to really close this gold lead and get right back into the game. It's going to be hard for them to find the right time. But Apex moving heavily towards the top lane. They're going to be looking to go straight for this tier 2. And what will C9 do is there's no real minions in the mid lane.
At Cloud9.
Now they're trying to come for a collapse.
They're just sitting in the mid lane. You saw Sneaky sitting in the back looking
Here
for
comes
an
Apex.
Crystal Arrow. But as you said, Apex collapsed. Meteos gets caught. There's the equalizer. And Cloud9 are split. Meteos is in the front. So very separated from his team. He will go down. Another kill on Ray.
And Meteos probably should have just flashed to the Bard portal. I think he could have got out had he gone the other way, but instead, it's the pick that Apex needs. They get the jungler, and this means so hard for C9 to ever contest this. They're down 6K. They don't want to give up the Baron because it could mean the game.
Ooh, Tempered Fate stalls it out.
Impact is almost Mega Gnar. They want to go for it. In goes Sneaky and
Arrow is
Jensen.
blocked by Xpecial. Impact is snared in the front. He can't quite find a way in. Gets a slam to knock Apollo back, but Baron is secured by Apex. They chase
Ray's in
forward. Smoothie has gone down. Ray is doing as much damage as he can. Dodges the stun from Impact, who will follow up on
Sneaky's
his own.
coming up huge.
Dropping, but Sneaky trades it back at Jensen. The burn.
He's got him. It's an ace for Cloud9.
Ace for Cloud9. Triple kill for Sneaky. Double kill for Jensen. They get themselves back in.
Sneaky was massive in that fight for Cloud9. They needed to win it. Still, though, the Baron gold goes over to Apex, and here it is. The pick on Meteos. Cloud9 knows they need to contest. Smoothie starts it off well. He knows he has to delay. The ulti does land. Goes Impact to buy time. Mega Gnar is going to be popped. The initiation comes in. Apollo, thinking that's going to hit him, flashes out. But Sneaky, untouched in the back. As they pile in, he stays safe, he turns, and he's able to return a massive amount of damage. Look at him, backline, hitting everyone with the Hurricane, coming up so huge for his team, almost lives. But Sneaky just hard carrying that fight with Jensen. Such a good job by the AD carry and mid laner. But C9 certainly not out of the woods just yet. They're still down over 5,000 gold. That was just mitigating their losses.
Denying that Baron to Apex after successfully picking off Meteos. The 4v5 is successful for Cloud9, but Apex, that's not going to stop them for looking for picks.
No, 4,000 gold lead in the top lane now for Ray. Pretty enormous, and a couple thousand on Sneaky. He has to be the one to carry these fights. They really want to pick up some of these turrets and close that global gold lead. Apex is moving towards the inner tier 2. C9 just wants to delay, give themselves some time to pick this up, and Ray is there to defend, but if he's not careful, could get picked off.
Yeah, Apex answering with a tier 2 on the opposite side of the map. Impact getting close to Mega Gnar. It's going to pop. However, they're continuing to chase forward. He's got the slam. Instead, though, Sneaky and Smoothie will back away as the tier 2 just takes some big chip damage.
So good job by C9. They get a turret, they defend their own, but I do not think Apex is ready to give this up just yet. They want to continue the siege. Ray does have his TP, his ulti's available, has most of his big ticket items now, and they don't want to fight without him, but they do want to continue to apply pressure and really start to poke away at these turrets. They know they need to continue to extend the gold lead and maintain these advantages because their comp is so fragile. Ulti going in.
Catches only Xpecial. Keane, Yomu's to kite it back, but Xpecial hops away. And the siege continues.
Calmly played by Apex. They do not panic.
Ooh, immediate flash from Smoothie. He doesn't want to take any chances.
He was worried that one shot would pick him off before someone could block, so he blows the summoner knowing he can't afford to go down. May have been an overcommittal, but Ray's still pushing up here, and they are poking down the turret. Only a couple shots left on it. Impact gets rooted.
Trying to Impact. They also get a snare onto Jensen, but they can't quite follow it up. The knockup doesn't do enough. And Impact zoning in the front means that this turret gets to live a little longer.
But in the top lane, it's Ray. They're buying time for him. This is only a 4-man squad from Apex, and Ray working on that top lane tier 2. That is going to be going down for free, and this bot lane tier 2 is exceptionally low. So C9 needs to make an engage right now or answer the split push because they don't have a lot of time here before this starts to become their base being threatened.
Yeah, Apex back away and play it safe, taking that turret advantage home with them. Now the next Cloud Drake is spawning in 30 seconds. Cloud9 are down 1.
They want to maybe push mid lane. You can see it being pinged out. They have a big wave there, but not sure they have the confidence to actually go this far in, and Shrimp does clear it out. Looks like they're actually trying to set up a trap here in the jungle, perhaps expecting them to come over, look for that dragon. They do get spotted out by the blue ward. And now C9 needs to be really careful because they're actually stacked in the jungle. You cannot afford to get tagged by an equalizer.
Catches Sneaky, lock
He needs
it.
to get out of there.
It's continuing to burn down, already at half health from that initial harass.
They just have to give it up now. No chance of fighting it. That one spear, the equalizer was used, so if Sneaky can heal up, maybe they can do something, but the dragon should be gone before that happens.
Cloud Drake number 2, secured by Apex. 29 minutes in, they're up 6,000 gold. And still pretty comfortably in control of this game, but we've seen Cloud9 win one fight.
Yeah.
It's
it's still going to be difficult for Apex to close this
It
out.
is, but if Meteos catches the right targets, they're going for the TP. Here comes the
that's
ulti.
a long range
He got
out.
Keane.
Oh, immediate Quicksilver Sash. He's got no Tempered Fate.
Apollo gets caught.
Oh, will he be able to get out of this? Hanging on to the flash. He gets out. Xpecial's in the front. They're going to try to burn him down instead, but the snare onto Impact. Apex are kiting this
Here
out
comes
there.
Ray, here comes Ray.
Doesn't have the equalizer, though. Still sitting on that Proto Belt. Bullets are being fired across. Sneaky eats another spear. They chase forward, long range engage. As
They
Shrimp
got the
gets
stun on
scooped
Shrimp.
back. Shrimp goes down, but Ray is in the back line. Sneaky is burning down. Will he be able to kite away with his life? He does. Jensen gets the double kill as the snare misses. There's the equalizer on cooldown. Sneaky kites it back as Ray goes down, and Apex have been
Jensen is burning them down. He can chase. He's not a quadra. He's going for the
Pentakill. He's going to try to chase it down.
Pentakill for Jensen.
Pentakill.
Are you kidding me? Jensen comes up massive for C9 just when they need it. He wanted to fight back after game one, and he has done it in a big way.
Absolutely amazing from Cloud9. Again, they're able to turn the fight back around.
Let's watch it one more time. Started off with the sneaky ultimate. They get the QSS out of Keane, and now the pick comes in. They look for Apollo. Flash is here, though, and it is blown. Jensen starts off the ultimate on Xpecial, but they can't finish him off. And watch the Malefic Visions from Jensen. They're key in this fight. They do not track it, and it allows them to get reset kills. So he goes forward, Shrimp comes in, they land the CC on him, and now look at the dot on him. That's gonna burn off, it's gonna go right onto Xpecial. That's kill number 2, already burning down in the back. So they were not tracking that. Xpecial got too close, he gives up a kill. Now it's Ray, he goes forward, but Meteos with the beautiful body slam flash. Now Malefic Visions bounces from him, it's over on Keane, that's another kill. It's the Quadra, and Jensen chasing them down, picks up an incredible Malzahar Pentakill.
Kill after kill picked up. Keane is too
Keane
far
has no
forward.
cooldowns.
Oh, Nether grasp. He gets knocked back. Jensen is legendary with that one.
When it rains, it pours, and Cloud9 are bringing it. In this second game, they do not want to go quietly into the night against Apex.
With that kill, Cloud9 bring themselves closer back to even. Still down 3,000 gold, but they have got so much momentum. Now looking for that bottom tier 2 to even it up in turrets.
Pushing up. This will make it 5 turrets to 5. Gold lead closing. And we talked about the fragility of this Apex team. They have to be so careful. They need these gold leads. And that gold lead is vanishing very, very quickly.
They take down the tier 2 turret and look to keep Apex locked into their base. Ping's now going down onto the Baron. Oh, that's a little optimistic, but might be trying to use the recalls from Cloud9 to secure some vision.
Yeah, they at least want to get vision, not necessarily go for a rush, but when your opponent's recall, this buys you time to establish vision and try to set up for some picks, because Apex knows that their stock is kind of falling in this game pretty heavily. They need to get something going. When you play these heavy siege comps that are very fragile, when you fall behind, it just starts to become impossible to punch through the Gragas, the Gnar, who are just dogpiling in on you and giving the backline free time to rain down damage.
You just saw Sneaky looking for the arrow, but eats
Sneaky
one
gets
in
caught.
return. He's actually snared. He fires it back out onto Xpecial, who body blocks, cleanse, Impact in the front.
Too far forward.
They're going to try to burn down Impact and be quite successful. Tempered Fate will only buy time, but there's nothing that can save him. Keane secures the kill.
C9 with a big mistake there, as Sneaky was too far forward by himself, gets caught, and costs his team as Impact goes down in the ensuing fight. They need to contest the bear. They see it happening, and they still have 4 alive. This is very risky if Apex wants to go for it. Meteos is up.
Ray's holding on to that equalizer.
They're trying to fin it.
Trying to kite it out. It's burned down to half. There's the equalizer. It's on Jensen. Snare not going to quite proc. It just does a bit of damage. Cloud9 back away.
It largely whiffs there. C9 mitigate the damage. Still okay here, down not even 3,000 gold, so although Impact did fall, he's probably the one you want to die in this sort of situation, honestly. Not that they wanted anyone to. And now C9 moves towards the Baron, looking to get vision back for themselves. They're clearing out a lot of wards. It's 4, 5, 6 going down. Very good job for them.
Oh, missed that one.
Yeah, the scanner did fall. Couldn't get it.
Cloud9 trying to get themselves back into this after a very rough start and an even rougher game number 1. Finally starting to come alive in some of these fights.
It becomes so tough for Apex to get through the front line because not only does Jin just struggle killing frontline tanks, these really beefy guys like the Gnar and the Gragas, but he has not picked up a single kill this game. He's down, 60 almost CS. They're looking for a pick, but that is optimistic.
Yeah.
So Jin is just really going to struggle in these stages, and so much of it becomes about Ray and Keane.
Some very long-range damage as Apex chase forward.
Good
A big
tag on
arrow
Sneaky.
finds
He's low.
Sneaky. Oh, snare. Misses Jensen?
Jensen didn't even pop the ghost. No panic there at all. Calmly sidesteps. I'll take that ultimate.
He still had his passive, though.
Yeah. He was able to avoid everything.
Yeah. Completely untouched. Maybe they were trying to hope to layer it. And
It's still very risky. I mean, if he gets tagged by the Q and then the ult lands from Varus, he's probably dead. So,
you're right, probably trying to
I'm
layer
under
it.
pressure.
Elder Dragon has spawned, though, but Cloud9 prepped up in front of the Baron. Both teams have got a single ward by that Elder Dragon pit.
The bot lane is pushing in for C9, and they have control of top side, so they can go clean up that top wave. Impact about to Gnar out.
Ooh. Cloud9 playing a very intense game with ARAM, just dodging skill shot after skill shot. There goes the Tempered Fate. Doesn't catch anyone, though. Slow finds Ray with the Malefic Visions. Jensen in the front dodges some of these abilities.
C9's going to back off. Gnar is out of Mega. Back into Mini. You do not want to fight at that time. You want to wait. You can get that Mega. Gnar needs to build up the Gnar bar. Meteos is looking for the flank, though. On the bot side here. If Apex moves too far forward, he's going to go for Keane. He's going to go right now. Here he comes.
Arrow catches Xpecial. Meteos
All
back
dead.
in. He's knocked back in. Flashes back. Meteos in the front. There's
Huge
the
equalizer.
They're trying to drop the AoE. Smoothie will burn down. Sneaky's cutting it out as best he can, but Meteos is going to follow the bullets being dodged by Sneaky. He gets out of the cone, but Apex are cleaning up on the far side. Impact in the front gets stunned and locked down. Jensen and Sneaky are the sole survivors as Apex pick up 3.
It's a 3-for-1, but Ray is low, Shrimp is low. They don't have a tank, so they will take damage from the Baron. Will Jensen and Sneaky try to go for the contest? Instead, they're actually pinging on the Elder. I don't think they can two-man this even close to fast enough. They're going to try to go for it, though.
The Voidlings can take
It
aggro.
has so much health, though. It's not about that. It's about, do they actually have the DPS? And they're going to try. These are two very fed members.
Oh my God.
49. They're burning it down quickly, but they don't have enough time.
Okay,
they have to bail out.
They see vision of Keane.
And that means it's a free Elder now that they basically just leashed for their opponents if they want to go for it. Will they decide to? And they're going to take it.
Here comes the rest of Apex.
Yeah. That was way too bold from C9. Did not actually really respect how tanky this Elder Dragon is.
Yeah.
Going for that as a two-man with that limited amount of time was not wise. And they try to make the play, but the disengage did happen because C9 was not able to actually follow up on the engage from Gragas. It was good, but it was not good enough. Here he comes. They needed the ultimate to land immediately onto him from Jensen. Jensen did not get the ultimate onto Varus, so they pull back, and Varus is just raining down damage on them. He's in the backline untouched. Yes, a big Gnar ulti comes out from Impact, but it doesn't matter because the follow-up is not available. So a good start to the engage, but they did not have the follow-up. They need a secondary stun, whether it was Gnar or Jensen or Smoothie. Someone had to get the Varus. They needed to kill him right away. They failed to do so. They lose Baron. They lose Elder. And Apex back in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
C9 must delay.
They are in prime position to take this series 2-0 with those huge neutral buffs.
Yeah. Elder, though, doesn't last long.
There's only one tier 2 turret remaining in that bottom lane, but Apex looking for the inhibitor while they've still got that Elder Dragon buff. With 3 elemental drakes, that's 100
Meteos on the side, looking for the engage. The AD carry, Keane does not have flash. So Meteos wants to get Varus. He's going to look.
Tosses the barrel, but Apex are able to disengage.
Passive knocked off.
Oh, there goes the
An
snipe.
ulti coming up. They're not getting special.
Oh, they managed to catch Keane as Apollo gets knocked out. Xpecial is going to be burned down. A kill to Sneaky. 5v4 favoring Cloud9.
It was a good pick, but they spent a lot.
Oh, Jensen on the snare. That Thunderlord's proc.
He burned
He's burning
down
down from the Leandries, but is able to back away. And Apex continue to pressure forward. They break down the inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor falls immediately afterwards.
And it was not just that Leandris, the true damage burn coming in massive from Elder. Forces the blast out of Jensen, and Sneaky went down. So they're going to keep pushing. They have Baron. They can try to look to end here. A lot of cooldowns were used just on Xpecial. C9 needs to come up big.
Impact Dodges the snare. Meganar is popped, and Apex give it the distance and respect that it needs. Can't be stunned into those turrets, waiting for that next minion wave.
Elder does expire, though. Baron's still active for quite some time. They're pinging bot lane. They realize they probably cannot safely end here, so they want to just extend the gold lead, and they are up a lot.
Yeah, they've still got Baron buff for about a minute, so they should be able to take down that tier 2 as blue buff will be secured and gifted over to Keane. Oh, yeah, secures despite the reset.
Sneaky respawning, though. Full item up on his counterpart Apollo. A lot of the burden is on him. He must get that damage out and stay alive. Jensen, too, very strong here.
Yeah, that tier 2 taking damage much earlier in the game will fall without any pomp and circumstance. As Cloud9 have got to defend. Apex in complete control of this game despite some touch-and-go fights.
They're looking very good, but you have to remember, as these guys are starting to cap out on items, Ray's already 6 items, so his gold lead starts to matter less and less as you go further into the game, and still the team fight composition advantage does go to C9. They have the easier to execute team. They have the more kind of straightforward team fight. Apex needs to stay very, very safe here. And here we have that fight once again. They're just trying to delay, basically. And look how much damage that Jin ulti does to Smoothie with the true damage burn. So they catch Xpecial. They need to blow a lot of them to kill him, but they know once they've committed one ulti, they must commit the rest to get that kill. And look at the damage on Sneaky here. He QSS's, walks off to the side, but he burns down. And that is the power of Elder right there. True damage plus Leandries plus a full build on Ray, and he finishes off with a QSS, which is certainly not optimal, but he needs it against Jensen. They all have to have this QSS basically to show that respect to Jensen. You cannot afford to go in and get burned down.
Ooh, they're trying to catch Meteos right now.
Ooh, he's got to be careful. He cannot afford to go down.
Yeah, Smoothie escorts him to safety.
Any pick could mean the game here for C9 with their base cracked open. They must be so careful.
Apex now looking to siege this top inhibitor turret, grouped up as 5, firing skill shot after skill shot. Cloud9 playing some dangerous DDR, trying to dodge these spells as best they can.
There is no Baron. They have good wave clear. They can keep them at bay. Mid lane is pushed out relatively well. Bot lane is pushing for C9, so their wave maintenance has been good, and there's not really a lot of pressure on them at this moment. For Apex, it's about delaying, waiting for the mid lane supers to push in.
They're escorting wave after wave. Jensen refreshing that shield time and again, is able to take a few hits here and there. Sneaky not so fortunate. Does have that Bloodthirster, so will be able to heal himself back up.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get instantly killed, which we saw happen last time.
Yeah. All right, Baron's up in 2 minutes, but Apex continue to shove forward. They've got pressure on that side of the map.
Yeah, minions are here in the mid lane now, so Sneaky and Jensen have to kind of move back and forth. This is where it gets awkward. You have to try to burn these off, get back to top lane, do not allow them to get the damage in, and so it becomes this dance back and forth. You can't commit too far to one side or the other will punish you.
Meteos
Lots
dodging
of
out
poke
some of those
landing
skill
here.
shots, yeah. But they're continuing to stay relatively healthy. Sneaky separated from the team on the top side, trying to position himself in a safe position. Jensen in front.
And all summoners are available pretty much for everyone except Jensen missing his flash. So this could be a very explosive initiation if they decide to go for it. You know, Braum can flash in ulti, layer that with the ulti from Rumble, and try to really punish. But instead, Apex sees not much is happening here. We've lost our pressure. C9 gets another lease on life. 50 seconds on the Baron. That will be the major contested objective next. Apex wants to maintain vision, but they kind of just leave that pink up. Seeing pink down now.
Yeah, they're getting some big recalls now.
Yeah.
6 items now completed on Shrimp. Xpecial trying to get there himself. 43 minutes in, and Apex keeping Cloud9 confined to their base. Trying to buy time. Ray split pushing on the opposite side. He will catch this minion wave with teleport. 20 seconds now for that Baron. Apex has got a lot of vision on that side of the map.
Sneaky making some decisions here in the base, trying to decide what he wants to get. Hex Drinker, I think, is the right choice, as you cannot afford to kind of just get taken out by the Equalizer and Nidalee diving in on you. That's a defensive option that, in combination with the Scimitar, is going to give him a lot of MR.
Yeah, meanwhile, the two teams have met now in
Oh,
front
they're
of the
looking for
Baron
Xpecial.
pit. Xpecial, who is stunned. They don't overcommit for him, though.
He is ready for Ray if they go hard. He may come in.
That was the cask from Meteos. Looking for Xpecial, dodges the snare.
Ulti getting opened up.
Call, one bullet finds Sneaky, another one finds Smoothie. He's going to be snared down. Impact in the front, tries
Ray's
to hop
deeping
away.
in.
Xpecial, here comes Ray. He's trying to get in from the back.
They need to back off. C9 needs to get out before the equalizer comes down and kills them all.
Oh, Impact goes down. Keane is unstoppable. 4v5 for Cloud9.
They just can't get in, and Apex keeps getting these catches. The initiation fails from C9, and Apex looking to punish. They go straight to the Baron. Smoothie low, Meteos around.
It's about half health right now. Meteos has got his flash and his smite. Ray is
Arrows
zoning
up for
away the
Sneaky.
rest of Cloud9. The snare is going to catch Meteos, but he's still alive. Equalizer zones Jensen and Sneaky away. Separate Fate buys time, but it misses the Baron. But they get the kill onto Smoothie. 3v5 now.
Meteos is gonna go for the steal.
Oh, and Ray looking for the solo kill. Baron is secured. He's going to be snared away. Sneaky's kiting it out. Silenced on Ray, looking for the
He has
solo
Zonias,
kill.
though. He has
Oh my
Zonias.
God, Ray stays alive. But that's Baron now for Apex. They continue to chase forward. Snare fight Sneaky. Oh my God, he's gonna go
Meteos came
down.
over the side. What a play!
Picks up the kill. Jensen, wait, the burn, the burn. Oh, cleanse is not going to be enough.
Meteos
Wait, is
looking
it
for the
burning?
chase down. He still wants to catch him. He can get him with the Q. He has his body's limit one.
He's chasing down. We're going for the minions. Flash being used. Meteos doesn't have his own. 70 health.
Ray's here. Meteos
Oh
failed
my
over
God.
chase. Oh my God, I want to see that again. Meteos just saved the game with that body slam flash from the Wraith Pit. Sneaky getting caught, but Meteos with an incredible play comes over the wall to save the game for C9. And Sneaky trying to solo out Ray here. Ray does get silenced, but he has the Zonias, so he was going to be fine. And then Sneaky gets caught. It looks like it's about to be the game-ending play here. And look at Meteos over the side. Gets two,
God.
hit three with his ultimate. Jensen's able to turn around. They get the double kill. Yes, they lose Sneaky, but Meteos, that was the turnaround that saved the game.
Yeah, the full nether grasp from Jensen
Wow.
onto 3 people.
Whew.
I can only imagine the damage numbers on that. Elder Dragon's back up in a minute. And despite securing the Baron, Apex not going to be able to do anything with it as Cloud9 are right back on the map.
And Jensen now, 6 items. Sneaky closing in on 6 items. These guys are really finishing up their build, so the gold lead starts to matter less. The QSS actually sold up by Ray as he decides to... Oh, no, my mistake. He actually completed the Scimitar, so has a little bit of extra stats from that. Either way, these builds are reaching their completion as C9 does get their 6-item builds. The gold lead stops mattering. It's really about the fights at this point. It's really about who can play it better. Impact still is kind of a ways off finishing his build. Needs about 1,900 more, but he's on 5 items. Most of these guys are on 5 to 6 items.
Oh man, anytime I see a skill shot hit Sneaky, I just can see the rest of Apex hard committing for it.
Yeah, Sneaky needs to play so safe now. Doesn't have his flash for a long time. And does C9 even want to fight without summoners on Sneaky? I think it's extremely risky.
Yeah, Elder Dragon has just spawned 47 minutes in.
Yeah.
And Apex, despite having a 10,000 gold lead and being in control for a majority of this game, can't quite close it out as Cloud9 are taking fight after fight, hanging on by their fingertips.
Oh, Impact gets rooted up. C9 does have waves pushing, though. They always seem to have better side lane control. That has been what is kind of keeping them together, as Apex wants to be this kind of 5-man squad roaming around. They're moving to Elder, though. Impact has TP. He is basing up. He's preparing for it. Apex knows this is risky. Well, that's a really far TP spot. Okay.
Apex grouped as 5 on the back side of the pit.
They're trying to kind of cut them off, it looks like here, but
They're spotted out by
C9
a
is a bit
ward.
split. They need to be careful.
Meteos gonna have to hop the wall here.
It's okay.
Or walk it back to his team. The rest of Apex, Ray's defending bottom. He doesn't have his teleport. Cloud9 are rushing down the mid lane.
Yeah, and they could go straight onto this turret because Ray is not here. They see him at the minion wave. They know he's missing. Still have to be careful. Sneaky sidesteps a spear.
Apex make it there in time. Here comes Ray.
Has the equalizer ready.
Sold his proto build. Oh my God, 48 minutes into the game.
It's smart. You need the death cap in that 6-item build for maximum damage. He really wants to be optimal here. Knows he has to have huge effectiveness with that ultimate if his team is to win the game. And this is such a tense moment for both teams. The next team fight may decide the game. I really do think it will, with the res timers getting so long, and stalemates at this stage are rare. Everyone hitting level 18, everyone capping out their item builds. So much on the line.
Yeah, Elder Dragon is up. And again, Cloud9, that side wave control. They've got minions pushing in the top lane. Might be getting some pressure in that bottom lane as well. But Apex continuing to match Cloud9 around the map. they've had control for almost this entire game, except for, I think that's 30 seconds at minute 6.
They have, but the thing is, they need the gold lead to be just even, basically.
Yeah.
With these kind of siege comps, you have a lot of gold, but you're more fragile. It's like the Nidalee can have all this gold, but it's very hard to just dive into a team. It's so dangerous, right? You can't always participate and get full use out of all your gold.
Large minion wave on the top side of the map. Ray heads over to catch it. He's got his teleport now, but there aren't enough minions there in time. Cloud9 might be able to get that tier 2 with the minions alone. They're actually starting off this Elder Dragon as Apex
He is ready.
look to respond.
I don't think they're going to want to give this up. Apex is going to try to look to make the collapse. If C9 commits this could be very dangerous. TP coming in from Ray.
Yeah,
they got to make the call. They're going for it.
The Tempered Fate is not
the
timing
smite.
properly, but that's going to be Elder Dragon secured. That's Equalizer separating Cloud9.
Impact has flash ult. He's going to go for it.
They've got Xpecial. They're going to chase for the kills. Meteos on the front, zoning for the tank. Smoothie chases forward. Xpecial burning down, but he's able to keep himself alive. Curtain call finds Impact. Everyone else is out of range, and that's going to be no kills for Apollo.
Wow, so tense. Impact decides not to pull the trigger on his flash ultimate, did not want the gate engage to backfire. C9 though, Shrimp came in expecting the early smite, the panic smite from Meteos. Meteos stays calm, does not early smite, seeing Nidalee fly over, allows him to use his smite first, secures the Elder, and that is huge to take away from Apex. They cannot afford to give it over. 6 items for Sneaky, 6 items for Apollo, though, who was woefully behind for a lot of this game. Almost everyone has these full item builds, and the guys who are ahead are making those build adjustments, like you said, Ray swapping it out. Shrimp swapping out his items, picking up a Banshees instead of the QSS.
Now with that Elder Dragon freshly empowered, Cloud9 look to take vision around this Baron pit. However, the two not going to overlap, or only just barely. As 45 seconds left on that Elder Dragon buff and 30 on that Baron.
Key summoners down, no flash for Shrimp, no flash for Xpecial. Smoothie missing his. Cloud9 has a summoner advantage. Ulti opens up, not going to get much done. Pops some Banshees, something, but not what he's hoping.
Yeah, Apex
Move to the Baron.
successfully able to claim vision on this. There's a large minion wave in the bottom lane.
And no TP for Impact, so he doesn't feel like he can answer it. Now he's kind of hesitating. He pings out that he's going to go for it. We'll see how
15
quickly
seconds.
he can get there. Yeah, he has a little bit of time on his TP. They have that advantage, and he's kind of just going back and forth. Not sure if he can actually show, but he needs to clear out this minion wave because it is enormous, and it will mean he'll collect his 6th item probably pretty soon here once he does finish up all of that.
But now Apex have reclaimed control over this Baron pit.
Meteos gets tagged. Ooh. They're starting it up.
They're trying to burn it
Impact
down.
has the TP.
He's got
He's coming
Meganor.
now. Here he comes.
There goes the teleport from the
Mega's
far
going to
side.
expire,
Megan's
though.
about
This
to
is
follow.
dangerous. He's by himself on the backside. He has to cancel.
Oh, he cancels. And Apex clear out the ward. Now he's got to walk the old-fashioned way. Cloud9 try to buy time.
So Apex gets the summoner. That is big for them. Now if they can get the side wave control again, Impact cannot answer. So Impact, a very aggressive TP spot. And this is something I talked about. Gnar harder to time with that TP nerf. It takes longer to channel. He would have been in there with Rage in the previous patch.
Not able to do it this time around, as Cloud9 are still trying to keep pace with Apex. It's all a game about execution now. We've made it so far that the gold difference doesn't matter too much.
No, really does not matter at all at this point. It's all going to come down to the fight. Who can pull off the big plays? We've seen a lot of them this game. Ray has been massive. Jensen with the Pentakill. Meteos with game-saving flash body slam over the wall.
Oh my god.
This game has had it all, and it will all come down to one big play. Who's going to be the guy to make it?
Ray getting spat on by that Baron. Grouped up with his team without teleport, doesn't want to risk being too far away from them. Cloud9 setting up a slow push in that bottom lane.
Xpecial's by himself here. He's okay.
Yeah, the trap wall gets cleansed. And again, just fighting over that vision, trying to dance it around. Cloud9 have not lost to a team lower than 3rd place in the standings.
Yeah.
This would be their first big loss other than the upset to Team Liquid. We're now tied with
Not
them in
even
the
an
standings.
upset. I mean, they're both
Yeah.
3rd place teams. 4 of their 5 losses to the top teams, Immortals and TSM. C9 has been very consistent, very good against everyone else in the league. They're looking to maintain that streak, keep this game alive. This game's going to be so mentally draining.
Oh, yeah.
One mistake can be the end not only of the game, but the series. Ray out here on the side needs to have the perfect equalizer for his team.
Very taxing game on the two teams. Continuing to fight over ward over ward.
Back gonna make it out here.
Each speck of vision absolutely vital. Snare will proc Jensen's shield.
At this stage of the game, at level 18, it comes up pretty quickly, so it's not as dangerous as it was earlier. And massive minion wave in the bot lane for C9 that could net them an edge, but it's so risky for these two teams to fight now. They know how much pressure is on, and you can see they're getting very hesitant in their moves.
Yeah.
No one's really willing to make that engage, because if it is the wrong engage, it's going to
Game
end
over.
the game.
Yeah.
Both teams seem like they want to be the ones to kind of absorb the initiation and try to turn it around unless they can find that key moment. We'll see if anyone's going to give it to each other.
Ray now heads towards that bottom side. His teleport comes off cooldown, and he cleans up that minion wave.
500 CS for Jensen.
Yeah.
Does eclipse that mark.
And Impact has his own teleport, but he wants to be with his team. We already saw that timing that Meganar so very difficult. There is a wave on the top side of the map, so they're going to have to play around this for the next few seconds.
Yeah, and Ray has shoved out the bot lane, so that it's going to be pushing towards C9 too. These waves are critical. Shrimp trying to fight for vision, Sneaky hanging out. And this does get to the stages where AD carries sometimes start selling out their items, and Apex makes the move. They're going straight to Baron. It's spotted out immediately, though. What's the call? They back off.
Managing to land some damage onto Meteos. He's
Get
caught by the
rooted.
snare.
Meteos
Dodges
in
out of
trouble.
the side of the curtain call. And Cloud9 split.
Very quick Mikhail's there from Smoothie. Cleanses the root, allows Meteos to get out of danger, but it's Apex right back on the Baron. Impact has DP. They know. They see it now with the blue trinket.
Apex trying to keep it engaged, but they don't want to burn through it. They don't want to give a chance. Tempered Fate stalls it out. The arrow goes wide for Sneaky.
Baron's getting
Down
very
to
low.
4,000.
They're looking for the finish.
It's going to be secured by Apex. Meteos goes over the wall. Meanwhile, Ray dealing it out with a huge equalizer on top of Cloud9. Smoothie snared, but that's Jensen okay. Sneaky's trying to kite it out. Meteos' Guardian Angel pops up and he makes it over the wall. And Cloud9 are able to escape with their lives miraculously.
They can't follow it up, and the GA saves Meteos' life. I thought for sure it was a one-way mission when he went down in the pit, but he does get out with the body slam, and C9 give up Baron again. What can Apex do this time? They need to make it happen.
Yeah,
No flash for Meteos.
Five-man recall from Cloud9 to defend this inhibitor, but with the Baron buff, Apex rush forward and try to burst it down. They do see Jensen on the side and don't want to take any chances. Apex back in the driver's seat with that huge Baron buff. They need to be able to take down this inhibitor, slowly trying to whittle it away.
Impact on 6 items. Everyone full build. Apex trying to land the key poke that will allow them to go in. Xpecial actually taking a lot of damage there, though, from Jensen, from Impact on that Gnar, and has Mega'd out. Apex backs up.
Oh man,
Holy.
Cloud9 hanging on once again by the edge of their fingertips. Trying to keep themselves in this game.
Meteos is looking, he's on the side.
Impact
threatening
hops
the
forward.
flank.
Immediately the Mega goes down.
Ulti coming out.
Curtain call, trying to zone Jensen away. Meteos will soak a few of these hits. The inhibitor looks like it's finally going to go down. Keane gets in range. One more auto attack. Cannon minion. Oh, one more. Oh, it goes down. The inhib is still up.
Baron wave's still up, though. They have that buff. They can push in. They don't want to over push for it. Keane is getting low. Xpecial's getting poked out. Lots of damage in on
Oh,
Xpecial
Xpecial
here.
on the front.
They have gone too far forward. Heal has to come out.
He hops back and Apex
defense.
disengaged. The inhibitor holds. And Cloud9 are still standing.
By the skin of their teeth, they keep it alive, and C9 have weathered most of the Baron storm. Still a little bit of time left on that. Elder up in 50 again.
Oh my goodness.
At this game.
The third Elder.
Oh boy. It's a doozy.
Oh yeah, 45 seconds for that, and Cloud9 already prepping with vision. They've got side lanes pressuring. Ray is trying to deal with that on the opposite side of the map. Teleport and Equalizer ready. Late recall out of Sneaky and Smoothie. 30 seconds for that Elder Dragon.
Sneaky did actually just sell up something. What did he change? I saw some movement. Okay, he actually did sell his Maw. So he sold a Maw and got an IE, if I'm not mistaken. I can check on that.
Whoa, interesting positioning between the two. Cloud9 feigning towards the Elder Dragon, but Apex rushing down to finish off the job on that inhibitor. Meteos is caught by the snare, but is able to sidestep. It just takes a few auto attacks despite the regeneration. It finally goes down. Arrow, woo, dodged by Ray.
This is risky here from Sneaky. Does not have the Maw. Is going to really be in danger of going down to Ray and Shrimp, but he wants the extra damage at the stage. Picks up the IE, has the added crit, and will be more of that threat.
Apex race around, blue buff secured by Apex. Keane has got that.
And they have the inside track on Elder, and knowing how aggressive their calls have been, they may just look to start it up. Impact needs to kind of build up that Mega. He's sitting off on the side, not too close to it. Has had a lot of trouble, honestly, in this game, getting in and having effectiveness in the team fights on this Gnar. 1 and 7. Ooh, Meteos gets tagged.
He's going to be able to walk it off, though. Cloud9 are separated and playing a very dangerous game as their vision is cleared out ward by ward.
Elder hasn't started, though.
More and more dangerous.
Jensen's still in mid. He's trying to maintain control of that mid lane wave.
This game is so close.
So close. And C9 now, they're making the rush down mid lane. They're going to try to push the inhibitor. Apex makes the call. They're going on to Elder. Who's going to blink first? The delay comes in, but C9's still going. They're not turning around. Jensen and Sneaky are going to go for this. Meteos trying to go for the steal.
Are they going to base race?
Yeah,
the Elder Dragon is trying to be stolen
Meteos
away.
is going to try to steal.
He's knocked up. Oh, but the Elder Dragon going to be picked up. It is the base race. Oh my God,
they're going for the
down.
They
are stalling this out as best they can.
They're going to do it. C9 has got it. They got the base.
On to the Nexus. It's going to go down. Oh my God! Cloud9 beat Apex. 61 minutes in.
Apex gets the Elder, but C9, they get the game as Jensen and Sneaky making them look foolish at the end of that game.
Oh.